All right, everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Matty here from Chill TCG. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Grand Finals match from the 320 or so player Chill Series number 35 tournament, which was just last night as I record this. It's actually crazy. We have our guy Yopa here, and he's from Japan, I believe. And then the other guy is RedHung. RedHung. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce his name either, or what his real name is, but he's actually playing Cinderace VMAX. We're going to be watching from Yopa's perspective, who is playing Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX. So a really interesting finals. This is actually our last Chill Series tournament of the Team Up Through Battle Styles format. As I record this, Chilling Reigns releases in just a few days. So I'm actually really excited for that. Next week, we're going to have Chilling Reigns packs in the prize pool. It's going to be legal for next week's tournament. But for now, and for this video, this is still Battle Styles format legal. So it's actually crazy. Our last Battle Styles tournament, we actually have Cinderace VMAX versus Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX. Cinderace is kind of the the underdog here in this matchup. Not a super high play deck, not a super successful deck. Whereas Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX with the Jirachi engine, like we see here, is a very highly played deck, a very highly successful deck. But I think this matchup is honestly a lot more even than a lot of people give it credit for. I think that this is going to be a really interesting matchup, and two players are absolutely phenomenal. I'd love to see the Asia representation in the Chill Series tournaments. They've been popping off recently, and it's just really great to see. So we're going to see here that Yopa puts down that Rapid Strike Urshifu V and the Mewtwo there. They're down on his board. I think he just benched the Mewtwo just to perhaps put a supporter back on the top of his deck. I actually missed that. I do apologize. I was too busy talking with the intro. Misses the energy attachment, though, on that first turn going first, which is going to be pretty difficult for him. Cinderace VMAX, definitely a welder deck that would rather go second, I believe. However, maybe you would like to go first. I'm not sure. I know Victini VMAX likes to go first because it's a 2 energy attack cost, but Cinderace is a 3 energy attack cost, I believe, although we do have the second attack, or the first attack for 2. Either way, I do think that this Cinderace deck would like to go second, which it is. And Rapid Strike Urshifu, of course, likes to go first, but Yopa did miss the energy attachment there, which is going to be very difficult for him, to really get things rolling, next turn at least. But Red here, he's going to go ahead and just Dedenne out, so discards a lot of cards from his hand. He's got 1 energy on that Heatran in the active spot. I'm not sure exactly what he's planning on or what he just discarded, but we're going to see him quick ball away a Skyla. So we've got that nice Skyla in the deck here. He's going to quick ball, and he's going to go ahead and probably look through his prize cards, get a decent idea of the type of cards that he might have prized. I can only assume that's what he's doing. Most of these high-level players, especially in Grand Finals, typically do that. He's going to go ahead and grab the Volcanion off the quick ball. So this is interesting. He already attached an energy for the turn, but we do see that he has Welder in hand. Could he perhaps also have a switching out? He just Welders 1 onto the Heatran. We could perhaps see another draw Pokemon, a draw support Pokemon come down to draw some more cards. He's got 5 cards in his hand. We see the Cinderace V come down. That full art, very nice. And he does have Switch in hand, so a phenomenal first turn for Red here going second. And again, Volcanion in the deck. This deck definitely wants to go second. And he's going to go ahead and Flare starter there. 3 onto the Cinderace, and that's just an immediate setup. 5 energies on board, 3 onto the Cinderace V there. So that is an absolutely beautiful turn. Whereas Yopa doesn't even have any energies in his, on his board at all. We see the Dojo and the Research. He already has a Research in hand, so he's going to go ahead, grab the Dojo. Probably going to go ahead and want to put that in play. Again, it's not going to do too much in this matchup. However, you can get, a 2-hit KO with Gale Thrust on the Cinderace VMAX with the Dojo. So, it could be important. However, I know that Red is probably running multiple, he's probably running multiple Giant Hearths in his deck. Okay, so we're going to see the Stellar Wish. We find 2 Switch cards and 2 Researches. So, very interesting. He actually Mewtwo's puts a Research back on the top of his deck. He's going to switch into the Urshifu VMAX. And now this will, of course, give him the advantage of getting full damage here with the Gale Thrust. And we do, draw into the energy, which is definitely really nice. He's going to quick ball away the other Jirachi, potentially grabbing another Urshifu V just to go ahead and either discard it or populate it onto his board. He does bench that, so that's going to be the 3rd Urshifu down on his board. And now we got the Gale Thrust, so we're doing 150. We're going to KO that Volcanion. It's actually 160 with Gale, with Dojo. He grabs another Dojo off of the prize card. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Again, not a super progressive or useful, prize card in this scenario. But if a Hearth comes out for Red here, it actually could be nice. Get that Dojo back into play for next turn, and this is exactly what might happen here. Let's see. So what Red could do, it depends on what's in his hand. What he probably wants to do is to evolve into the Cinderace VMAX. That could be pretty advantageous for him. If we potentially get a Welder in a 3 energy attachment this turn, we could pop off for 350 with the Heatran and take 3 prize cards. However, that does not seem like a very safe option. It's not something that I would probably want to go for. But again, that's just an option. That's a possible route that Red could take. We're going to see the Fire Crystal come out. He's going to take 2 Fire Energies off that. And we're going to see the Pokegear come out. If he does find the Welder off this Pokegear, he does not. That's a whiff. That would have been very nice for Red indeed. So it looks like we might be in a situation where we just maybe attach and we just go ahead and hit with this Cinderace V. So not a really good situation, all things considered. Yes, we're going to Crimson Legs here. Does 140. Now 140 is pretty good damage. Again, it's not anything too bad at all. You definitely would have preferred to go into the VMAX last turn. But we're going to see Yopa here. He puts down the Martial Arts Dojo and he's going to Marnie out. Does find the Rapid Strike Energy, which could be very, very good. And the Air Balloon as well. And a Quick Ball. So a lot of different things that we could see here from Yopa. Kind of a nice swing here in the momentum. Red really did have a really great first turn, but that second turn was a little bit lackluster. Not really much came out. His Giant Hearth got replaced as well, so pretty unfortunate for him. But we're going to see if Yopa here, even though he's ahead on 1 prize card, if he can kind of even things up in this game. He's going to attach that Air Balloon to the active Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, and he's going to Dedenne, draw 6 more cards. We do have a Pokemon Communications here, so we could perhaps grab a VMAX, and that is exactly what Yopa is going to do here. He's going to go ahead, evolve the one on his bench there, and he did attach the one on his bench. This is good so that he can free retreat, go in, and go ahead and immediately hit for 150 yet again. So, you kind of like to see that. That is definitely a pretty good play on his part. It's nice to be able to shuffle through a couple Urshifu VMAXs at this point. So that is definitely going to be pretty advantageous for the next few turns. But Red here, he's got 5 cards in hand. I know 2 or 3. I think 2 of them are Fire Energies. Perhaps 3 are also Fire Energies. I'm not sure. So we'll see what he top decks. And again, could be pretty unfortunate if he just doesn't have anything in his hand to draw more cards. He does have a Quick Ball, though, so that is probably all he's going to need here. I'm sure. So what was it? Did he discard? Is that Oricorio-GX? I think it is. Interesting that Oricorio is in the Cinderace list. I actually kind of like that, not going to lie. But he Quick Balls it away regardless. He's going to look through his deck for another Pokemon. I'm not sure what else he has in the deck. I don't have his list pulled up right now. That probably would have been pretty useful. But we'll see. We'll kind of learn as we go. Could be grabbing another Dedenne, or he's grabbing Crobat. So perhaps maybe just running a 1-1 lineup of Dedennes and Crobat. So we could see him just attach the Fire and then Crobat for 4 cards. Again, hasn't used the Supporter yet for the turn. So that could be good. He actually benches the Mew, so Mew is in his deck. You'd love to see that. So he actually draws 5, I believe, off the Crobat, which is going to be pretty good for him. And he definitely right now wants the VMAX. That's the one card that he really would like right now. Although he does already have one in his discard pile. He also has Reshiram and Charizard-GX in the discard pile as well. So that could be pretty difficult for him. We see the Giant Hearth come into play. So getting rid of that second and probably the last dojo from Yopa. And we're going to go ahead and see him Giant Hearth away his 3rd Giant Hearth. For 2 more Fire Energies, and the Quick Ball will be coming out. He discards Fire Energy with the Quick Ball. And let's see what he grabs with this. It's interesting. Eldegoss. Okay, so probably looking for Welder this turn, although I don't know if he has any other supporters in his discard pile. Yeah, so he's going to grab the Welder. So I believe he's got at least 2 Fire Energies in hand, so he's going to be able to Welder some more on perhaps to the Heatran. Or, yeah, I don't know what else he would Welder onto. Yeah, so he's going to Welder 2 into Heatran. That's 5 energies on the Heatran. That's 250 damage with the GX attack. I believe he can manually attach for the turn as well if he hasn't already done that. That would be 300. Not enough to KO Urshifu VMAX, but it's nice to kind of build up that, that Urshifu, or not some of that Urshifu, that Heatran on the bench to potentially just come in and pop off for a lot of damage. But we're actually going to see him switch the energies, from the Cinderace onto the Heatran. That's 7 energies. Now that's 350 damage. You're only leaving 1 energy left on that Cinderace V. But however, we are taking 3 prize cards and KOing this Urshifu VMAX. So that's really, really good. This puts him in a pretty decent position, honestly, because Yopa doesn't have really any way to KO this Heatran. And this Urshifu VMAX also already has 140 HP, off of it. So this is actually a pretty good situation for Red, because all he has to do is find a boss, set up a Cinderace, and then we can kind of KO that benched Urshifu VMAX for the last 3 prize cards. So definitely going to be pretty good. Yopa's in a really tough spot, though. He really just has a pretty tough hand. He's got 2 boss's orders and 2 fighting energy. So I think what he's forced to do is go in this Jirachi. We'll see what he top decks. It's a switch, actually, which is really good for him. So we'll see what he grabs here. The research could be cool. The quick ball as well could be also really useful for him. He's got 23 cards left in his deck. So either way, he's going to be able to switch in and Gale Thrust. What he wants right now is to most likely, get another Urshifu VMAX, a healthy one, and to get that set up. So, of course, Gmax Rapid Flow isn't going to be viable. It's not really a viable option right now because that Mew's on the board. So that Mew really sways the matchup, in my opinion, in Red's favor and Cinderace's favor, just based off of the fact that this Urshifu VMAX can really only hit for 150. It takes away really a lot of the advantage that Urshifu typically has in a lot of matchups. But Yopa here, he's probably going to attach to this healthy Rapid Strike Urshifu V here on his bench because he knows that he can't go into the damaged one reliably. But actually what he does here, so he's going to go ahead and he's going to target the Cinderace V. And this is smart. I think that's a smart play because really your only threat to losing next turn was a Cinderace VMAX with a couple more energies onto it. So this way, nothing is really going to, confidently KO Urshifu VMAX this turn. However, this Heatran can just kind of hit for 130, and then it's just going to live next turn no matter what, because of course Yopa doesn't have anything to KO it, and then all Red needs is a boss's orders for the turn after this turn, and he should have things pretty much locked down. So he's going into a huge card or a huge hand right now. We see the Dubwool V come out, which is definitely interesting. I don't know if he's gonna. So he does bench that. It's weak to fighting, but I don't know if that actually really would matter. But we do see the Welder come on. And that's 2 energies onto the double, and he's going to draw 3. Only 8 cards left in deck, so I believe he's probably trying to thin a little bit at this point. However, this double is going to do enough damage. Double is just an absolutely fantastic late-game attacker, and that is checkmate. So absolutely insane. Double, you got to love it. Really cool win condition. The fact that he did have Welder and 3 more energies left in his deck, pretty good for sure. So that's an interesting first game. And Revenge Blast is going to do it. Does 210 damage, and that is just a little bit more than enough to KO that Urshifu VMAX. So, great first game. Honestly, really great first game. We're going to get into game number 2, and we'll see you guys in just a little bit. All right, game 2. It's going to be interesting. So, RedHung did take game 1 a little bit kind of convincingly, honestly. It was a really hot start for him. I know, pun intended. But things got a little bit closer towards the mid game, but then later in the game, it really felt like Red had the advantage throughout the most part here. Yopa is starting with Jirachi, which is going to be pretty good. He lost last turn, so I assume he's going to still choose to go first. However, going second could be an interesting kind of counter play. We'll see exactly what he plans to do here. Yeah, so going first, he top decks the Jirachi off the mulligan, and then grabs the Urshifu VMAX, Urshifu Rapid Strike Urshifu V off the top deck. So definitely going to be really good. He's got the double Jirachi, scoop up that switch in hand, so he's going to be able to kind of shuffle through if he needs. Because, again, he is going to be looking for that energy. So he's going to bench the other Jirachi. He's going to bench the Urshifu. We could put Dojo into play. However, it's probably not super advantageous to do that with the amount of Giant Hearths that Red has in his deck. And speaking of Red, he's starting with Volcanion, which is actually his best starting option as well. He's going to be able to perhaps Flare Starter for the second game in a row, which is definitely a very advantageous thing to do when you're playing this deck. So we're going to see the Stellar Wish come out. We see another Switch, Research, and Tool Scrapper. So we could continue the Jirachi Switch loop here. I guess he only has 1 left in him. But if he does this, perhaps he could find a Marnie. But he actually goes ahead and he passes. So again, another first turn from Yopa where he just does not find the energy attachment. It's not the end of the world, realistically, because, getting 2 energies on an Urshifu VMAX probably isn't super relevant in this matchup anyway, since Red is running Mew. But again, it's just nice to have that energy on your first turn, kind of for, as kind of like a backup plan, just in case. Things go awry or you miss it on your second turn. And it's just nice to have it. The Fan of Waves gets discarded with Quick Ball from a Red here. Again, he's probably going to be looking for a Heatran, Reshiram, and Charizard-GX, or probably Cinderace V. He wants to get those on his board. and he wants to go ahead and flare starter to them. Get as many energies on his board as possible. He wants to kind of threaten with that the Heatran-GX attack or the Reshiram and Charizard attack, as well as setting up a Cinderace V. We didn't even see a Cinderace VMAX last game. It was kind of just like a little Welder box game, which is really what this deck is. It's just Cinderace, but it's like a Welder box. We see him discard the Dubwool, Fire Crystal, and a Fire Energy as well. So definitely really interesting with that Dedenne. Draws a fresh 6 cards though. Let's see exactly what he is able to pull out this turn. We're gonna be able to see a flare starter no matter what. 3 energies on that Cinderace is gonna be very, very nice. And we'll see what Yopa top decks. The Skyla comes out. Skyla's super interesting. So again, we might see no Welder this turn. First turn Welder like we saw last turn. But the flare starter should be enough. Honestly, it shouldn't be a big deal. We see Giant Hearth come into play. I guess he's kind of just prioritizing getting those fire energies in his hand this turn. Or he's gonna hold it. So he's gonna hold the Giant Hearth, assuming that he wants to play that Giant Hearth when Yopa plays down his martial arts dojo, and Yopa does have a dojo in hand. But either way, we're gonna see the flare starter come out from the Volcanion, and he's gonna go ahead and is he gonna split energies? Nope, he just stacks all 3 under that Cinderace V. Probably the smart move anyway. Those Cinderace Vs are just safe from getting KO'd throughout this entire game. Yopa here, though. Quick balls away boss's orders, which is definitely an interesting little play here. Could grab Crobat, but he's going to go ahead and grab a second Urshifu V. Definitely the smart move. I don't know why he would grab Crobat. I just saw it. Just saw him hover over it. Anyway, we're going to go ahead Stellar Wish, find the Pokemon Communication, so he's going to be able to shuffle that Jirachi-GX back into his deck, grab an Urshifu VMAX, which is going to be very advantageous. Grabs the Alt Art, of course. Always grab the Alt Art first. He's going to evolve into that one. Now, we could put down the Dojo here, but he's going to go ahead and switch into the Jirachi, and we're going to see what we can grab off of this Stellar Wish. The second Stellar Wish for the turn. We find Quick Ball, Boss, and Research. We already have Research in hand, so I potentially think that we might just be grabbing Quick Ball. I'm not sure what we need to put on our bench at this point. We could put a third Urshifu V. He's looking. I'm not sure what he's indicating at this point, but he's going to grab the Quick Ball. And he Quick Balls away Great Catcher, which is interesting. Again, he could have kept it, perhaps popped it off before the research to, try and potentially get a KO on the Dedenne. But I think that for him, just going ahead and KOing this Volcanion this turn is still going to be a pretty advantageous setup for him. So again, plays all the cards in his hand. He's going to draw a fresh 7. Does find that Rapid Strike energy there. That was a close one. He almost whiffed energy again. Which again is something that you definitely don't want to do with the Rapid Strike to a VMAX. But anyway, we're going to go ahead, Gale Thrust, just like last game, and KO that Volcanion. So very similar situation to what we saw last game. However, there's no Heatran-GX on Red's board at this point, and that is definitely something that could be pretty important at some point. But the Giant Hearth comes down. We're going to see him discard the Reshiram and Charizard-GX. And probably going to just be grabbing a couple more energies in his hand. Again, I don't know if he has Welder in hand. That could be very advantageous for him. We could see a Cinderace VMAX this game. We did not see one last game. And I'm definitely interested to see how that card performs in this matchup specifically. But we'll see. We'll see exactly how it goes. He does have Welder in hand, and now he's going to be able to Welder 2 energies onto that bench Cinderace V. So setting up double Cinderaces could be super good. He's going to draw 3 cards. Do we find the VMAX is the big question. If he doesn't find the VMAX and he hits for 140, it's going to be almost exactly like it was last game, which is honestly super interesting for sure. He manually attaches a third one to the bench Cinderace V. So now we got 2 Cinderace Vs just set up with full energies. Doesn't look like he has VMAX at this point. And he doesn't, so we're just going to see a Crimson Legs. And this might be actually the preferred, I guess, route. Maybe it's not the preferred route, probably, but it's interesting nonetheless. But realistically, like just attacking for 140 is probably pretty fine in the long run. And also, it kind of forces Yopa to hit one of these Cinderace Vs, and whichever one he hits, that's the one that you're probably not going to evolve because you don't want him to take 3 prize cards with 1 KO, right? So the fact that we have 2 set up, it might be better actually just to attack with a V and then wait to see which one he attacks. We're going to see the Goon come down. He's going to place the damage counter. He's going to scoop it up, and he's going to put this thing back down. So this is going to be important. Let's put this bench Cinderace V into a 2-hit KO range with Gale Thrust on the Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX. We're going to switch into the Jirachi Stellar Wish. He's going to discard Phoebe, I guess, just to discard it. He doesn't want to put that back into his deck. With Marnie, we see that we have 8 energies left in our deck. And we do have VMAXs as well. So we're gonna go ahead and hope that we find it. We do find Pokécom, and we find Rapid Strike Energy. So we're gonna be able to attach and find the VMAX, but all we need is a switching out here. And unfortunately, we do not find a way to switch out of this Jirachi. All we find is Air Balloon. However, after we Stellar Wish and this Jirachi falls asleep, we're not going to be able to free retreat out. So definitely pretty, disappointing for Yopa this turn. We're just not going to be able to attack. And that is definitely not the best. So he's going to leave the Jirachi here in the active spot. We'll see what Red is able to do. So if he has Boss and a Cinderace VMAX this turn, could be very detrimental for Yopa. And missing an attack last turn, just kind of missing that one switching out from Jirachi was definitely pretty, disappointing, I think, in the long run, for Yopa. But we'll see. Maybe Red doesn't really have much going for him this turn either. Maybe he just goes ahead and KOs the Jirachi here in the active with the Cinderace V. But we'll see. We'll see exactly what goes on. He's got 5 cards in his hand. And, perhaps, again, maybe just not evolving might be the best option. It really might be. I think that you want to evolve if you ever have a route to KO the Urshifu VMAX as well, for sure. Yeah, so he just goes ahead and attacks with Crimson Lake. So he could have a dead hand, or he could just be kind of waiting, and I think that waiting might actually be a pretty good position in this matchup at least, although we do not have Mew on board. So no Mew on board could be actually, pretty important, I think. We're going to calm away the Jirachi. He will be grabbing that Urshifu VMAX. He's going to evolve the healthy Urshifu V there with the energy. He's going to be able to attach to the other one as well, although... Okay, so I was going to say he could have attached to the VMAX, gone double up on energies, because, again, there's no Mew on board. But I don't know if Rapid Flow really would have been super advantageous for him. We do see the Scoop Up Net in hand. There's the Martial Arts Dojo. So that's going to be all really good stuff here. Doing 160 now with Gale Thrust if that Dojo comes into play, but the Scoop Up Net means that he's going to be able to go back into this Urshifu and actually attack this turn, which is what he was hoping to do last turn, I think. Most definitely. But we can attach Air Balloon to active. We could bench another Jirachi. We could quick ball something away. We could also put down that Dojo. He elects not to put down the Dojo, so again, hitting for 160 isn't super important. Perhaps he's waiting for Red to potentially discard another Giant Hearth from his hand, and then he's going to go ahead and put down that Dojo. Or he's just keeping it as kind of a discard fodder in his hand. Again, that Dojo isn't really doing much in the long run. If this active Cinderace VMAX gets evolved, there's still really not much, that Red or, that Yopa would be, worried about, per se. And Red is, I think he's in a decent position. Again, if he evolves the bench Cinderace into the VMAX, it's getting 2-hit KO'd, but again, not a huge deal. I think that at some point you're definitely going to be pressured if you're Red to bench a Mew, just because that Rapid Flow now with the 150 damage on the Cinderace V here is kind of important. Could be pretty, interesting for sure. The Eldegoss comes out, so we see Welder come back out of the discard pile. So we're going to be able to Welder to something. I don't know what he has in his hand to Welder to, so he doesn't bench anything else, so he's just going to be Weldering to the Cinderace. He does put 2 energies onto the Cinderace, draws 3 more cards. Do we find the VMAX is the real question. Do we find the VMAX? And of course, these Cinderace Vs here do have free retreat when there's a stadium in play, so the Pokécom comes out. We could potentially finally see a Cinderace VMAX, which we have just been waiting for so long to see. But no, never mind. We see Heatran-GX. So with the abundance of energies that's on Red's board, he might actually just be looking to get a KO on this Urshifu VMAX here in the active spot, which actually could be a really smart move. So again, he's got 9 energies in total on his board. So once we free retreat, switch into this Heatran, we can move 7 of those energies to Heatran, do 350 damage, KO the active Urshifu VMAX there for 3 prize cards, and then we still have 2 energies left on that benched Cinderace V, and that's going to allow us to potentially boss up that, the other Urshifu VMAX on Yopa's bench to kind of finish up and take our last few prize cards. So this Heatran-GX with Cinderace is actually a phenomenal card, mainly just because these Cinderace Vs have free retreat. And again, he does evolve that Cinderace V there on his bench, the one with 2 energy, so I think that's very smart. And he's not going to evolve the one that has 150 damage onto it. So again, waiting to evolve kind of like he was the last few turns, even if it wasn't voluntary, might have been the smartest decision. Either way, this Heatran-GX taking a big KO here on that full HP Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, taking 3 prize cards. Now he only has 2 left. He's 1 boss away from winning. Or I guess, yeah. 1 boss away. Well, he needs an energy, I believe. Energy switch boss. technically. But we could see some shenanigans like we did last game with the Dubwool V, which would be super interesting for sure. I don't know if Fire Crystal is still in Red's deck as well. It might be. Anyway, we're going to see Yopa Quick Ball for the Dedenne. He's going to Hearth away the Jirachi, put that Martial Arts Dojo into play, and now he's going to be able to Quick Ball away in energy. Not sure what he's going to grab here. He could put Mew on the top deck, but actually grabs the Crobat. So now we have Crobat and Dedenne in our hand. Potentially going to be drawing a whole lot of cards this turn, and we still have Stellar Wish available to us. Only 15 cards in our deck, though, so realistically, if we don't get a decent KO this turn, there's really not much that, we don't have much time to really do anything else. Although we do see the Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX come out. Only 10 cards left in deck now. The Air Balloon could come out. So the problem with this, I think, is that we want Boss this turn, because we can't KO the Heatran. And without Boss, it's going to be pretty difficult. And I don't know if we even have Boss left in our deck. So we're not going for Boss's Orders this turn. We're actually going to Marnie, which is definitely an interesting play. We still don't see Boss's Orders, so I believe he's got 1 or 2 or 3 cards that he hasn't seen in his deck still at this point. And now we're going to be able to Gale Thrust. We could have Rapid Flowed and took 2 prize cards off the Cinderace, but Gale Thrust, actually, because we're behind on prize cards, does do 190. Which I, of course, did not recognize immediately, and I apologize. But that 190 damage, the KO on that Heatran is going to be phenomenal. And now the pressure's on, right? Now the pressure's on. All Red needs to do to win this game is attach an energy to that Cinderace VMAX, have Boss's Orders in hand, and he's going to have this game locked down. However, yeah, but see, the problem with this, though, is Red has 2 more turns, because Yopa only has taken 3 prize cards, and there's no way for him to take 3 prize cards in 1 turn. Actually, I say that, but if he has Boss's Orders, he can actually just Rapid Flow and just do just that, which is very interesting, for sure. And he passes. RedHung passes. Wow, that's insane. So again, if Yopa had Boss, this would have been game, but again, he just doesn't have it. He's going to have to, yeah, man, that's super tough. Super tough for him. So close to having game as well. Just so close to having game. He might have discarded all of his Boss's Orders. I did not keep track personally. Do we have, and Red doesn't even have Boss left in his deck, or in his discard pile, sorry. So that could be definitely a viable option. The fact that he didn't attack last turn is actually kind of crazy to me. I don't know if Oricorio-GX is discarded as well, so that could be an option for Red to draw more cards next turn as well. And I believe he might have Crobat in his deck too, so he might just start digging next turn and try to find that Boss for game. But the fact that he didn't do anything last turn was very interesting, so I assume his hand is most likely dead. The Marnie might come out from Yopa, and I don't know how I feel about this Marnie, just because Red passed last turn, so his hand might not be that great. And if I had to assume, it's not a lot of mind games going on right now. He does pop the Marnie. No Boss's Orders left in the deck here, but let's see what Red does. I mean, he's only drawing 4 cards here, but if his last hand was dead, these 4 prize cards might be exactly what Red needs to win this game. So we're probably just going to see Rapid Flow come out, and I think Rapid Flow is probably the best bet here. We can hit the active Cinderace, KO it, take 2 prize cards, and we can also get damage off onto this Dedenne for next turn to kind of guarantee game. So Red either wins this turn or he loses next turn, and that's really all that matters. We do take Boss off the prize cards. It's 1 turn too late, but you know what? Better late than never, I suppose. We'll see what Red does this turn. Again, he just needs energy, and he needs Boss, I think. So, we'll see. So the Cherish Ball comes out. He's going to be able to find the Oricorio-GX. That's going to be a +3 draw for him this turn, since his Pokemon did get KO'd last turn by Yopa. So, we'll see. I mean, maybe off the Oricorio, we find what we need. Maybe he has one of the pieces that he needs already. And then also, I believe he has Crobat left in deck. He actually whiffs off the Cherish Ball. Maybe that was intended. So kind of discards the Cherish Ball and Pokecom, and we're going to Quick Ball for Volcanion. So I am just super confused. And he's going to Quick Ball. So he has another Quick Ball in hand. All of his Pokemon searches in his hand. And he's going to Quick Ball away the Volcanion. And he's going to go ahead and Crobat here. So we're going to Crobat for 5 cards. The Fire Crystal comes out. So that is going to be his energy that he needs. But does he have Boss to guarantee game this turn? Yopa's got Boss in hand. Does Red? He does. Wow. There it is. Oh, wow, absolutely insane. Came right down to the wire here on this game, too. But RedHung, I mean, he takes it. Cinderace VMAX takes it and actually doesn't KO, but does with the burn. So absolutely insane. Phenomenal game. Absolutely phenomenal game. It was awesome to see Cinderace VMAX make it to Grand Finals. And again, congrats to both players. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for playing in Chill Series number 35. You know, we had a lot of fun during this Battle Styles format. But from here on out, things are going to be a little bit different, of course, because we got a new format, new cards, new decks, and I really can't wait for next week. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Maddie from Chill TCG. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to play in Chill Series tournaments every Wednesday. And don't forget to subscribe because we will be posting a bunch of deck profiles and videos on all of the new cards that are coming out in Chilling Reigns over the next few weeks. So definitely go and subscribe and stay tuned for all that new content that will be coming out. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Have a good day.